Hello, this is LEDQ, and I'm throwing up a quick video up. I discovered something that I didn't know. Maybe it's new this X Pack. This X Pack. Why am I always forgetting the name? I'm so old. Scars, Shattering of Row. There we go. Shattering of Row. I've got the paid. I'm not free to play or anything. Anyway, and I joined like the day or two before it launched so I could get the beta reward, which was this ornament thing. You get 3 of them, and so I put one on my shaman here. This is my shaman. I'm not max level yet. I'm 128 with this guy, and anyway, you pick something, a weapon thing of the claim, and then you can alter the look of your weapon. Right? That's nothing new. But what's new to me is that if you take this off, I'm going to take it off, put it in a bag, okay? And hold, long right click on it, and then just do the claim reward thing again. This will work anyway. So, do that again, get that out of the way, and move this around. You can change it after the fact, even after you've picked something initially, right? So, I got the axe, I had the axe there. Let's do to go with my weapon here. Let's go, it's 2-hand weapons only. So it'll look like a sword, but it's not, this is a blunt weapon here. It'll look like this. It used to look like this axe, 2-hand weapons only. Now I can change it. And I just put the weapon up here, put this in here, and now boom. It's the sword again. Or it's the sword. And it works and it stays like that and everything. If so you can kind of change it based on your mood, it's kind of cool. I don't know if the beta rewards have always been like this, where there's no limit to how many times you can change it. Because I've changed my shaman to a barbarian. He used to be a frog, kind of go with the frog thing. So I just did a race change, just because I got sick of, and the combat animations for frogs stink. The spell casting is cool if you like the hopping and stuff, which I kind of did. I thought, yeah, that's kind of neat. It's kind of goofy, kind of fun, kind of neat, when you're hopping every time you cast a spell and stuff. But if you're playing I don't like them for melee. I don't like them. And I've decided to change how I operate my shaman a little bit more by being much more aggressive in the melee space. So there you go. And so I'm like, oh no, I want the axe. So let's do that. Take it out. I know you have to take it out first. You pretty much have to, I think. I'm not going to test it again. I made the mistake by leaving it in a weapon one time, and something went wonky and the weapon disappeared, and I thought I almost lost the weapon, and I don't want that to happen again, because you can't get these back. These are rewards that you're only able to get if you technically participated in the beta, or you prepaid for the X Pack. And I don't want to lose that. An axe goes more with the barbarian. So there's that. And since I got you, and I don't like to do just super quick videos. I probably should, but I don't. I redid a lot of my macros on this guy. I'm not even sure if I've put my shaman up on my thing yet, but in case I haven't, I just do this for a hobby. I'm not looking to try to make money or monetize or anything. Anyway, so these are the spells I have, and I've decided this is my lineup period. I have enough spell slots to have everything I need to do the group game. Now there's there's a hit point buff I could give a tank and take up one of the slots here, as well as maybe add a regen or like a group regen, or there's also a cure, a group cure, that also is something that you could put in the. I just took a sip of coffee. In the group game that I've noticed, and doing the missions, the group missions, if you get something on you, there's nothing. I mean, maybe they're trying to. Maybe the only thing that can dispel things now is a cleric or something. But ever since I've been really playing my shaman here for the last year-ish or so, played it with any kind of regular rate. Every time there was a call for me to try to cure something, either with the AA cure, which I have a macro because I used to have the spell on here, and I had the spell on here too, so I could just hit this no matter what, and not have to worry about the timer on the radiant cure, which is 1 minute, and just at least have a shot at trying to cure something with the regular spell group cure. I have yet to dispel anything or cure anything. Nothing is ever curable. I don't know what the deal is. It's a lazy mechanic. EverQuest is full of lazy mechanics that irritate the crap out of me. But that's how that goes. But this is my lineup here. This is a mixed bag of Shattering of Rose spells, as well as the Outer Brood spells, So it looks a little funky, but the spell slots are going to remain the same. This is the, I think it's the combo. Yes, the combo one. It's not combo, but it has, once it completes all the way through, it gives this updated, super big kind of dot that gets tacked on the end. It'll morph into, or whatever you want to call it. This is a combo one. This is a combo one that also has, part of the combo is the poison one that does the same thing as this right here, except a little quicker, like 42-second dot. This is like well over a minute or something. These are the two curses we get. This curse here, it's a 125 currently. I'm not 130 yet, and I'll get the upgrade to this probably at 129. My next level. I'm 128 right now. I use Overseer to go up in levels, and then I keep my AA on 100% as I just fight and do stuff. I like to try to keep my AAs, at least in my class and archetype tabs. I like to keep those maxed as I level if I can, to try to make sure that get the appropriate healing bonuses and canny and all the little nice shamany type stuff that is why you play a shaman, So, and I save the focuses always for last. Not that they're important, but it's just you can only do so much, So you just do what you can. I've been soloing in here. I only have one account, like I say. Let me go through these macros. I think I have most of the stuff labeled now. The Xtar 2 is typically the tank's target. Right now I have a Merc tank that I've labeled as the tank, but that doesn't matter because just don't worry about it. This is like an assist though for like group play that I use. This is from you can just if you don't know what R8's Bane, so I'm not going to explain everything. Just Google it real quick. It'll take you 10 seconds. That's from the last X pack though. And these other things, if you're familiar with EverQuest, you know what they are. If you aren't, Google it. If you got this video from Googling something, try Googling again. Google better, I guess. I don't know. It's a game. It's for fun. This is the AOE slow macro I have. This does the AOE version of just the single target slow, except there's a longer cast time for this one here for the last line. It's a good 3-second cast, I think. It feels like it anyway. So, be ready. You might want to slap a wave heal on before you even slow a group of mobs with this. If there's an overpull, or if you're in a group with a Shadow Knight that just doesn't care about single pulling anything, they just like grabbing groups and stuff. Here you go with this. You got Spirit Call in there for this is the pet attack. You don't want to use that. Then this spot here looks kind of empty. I usually fill these up pretty good, but I'm not a pro at Shaman, but I'm getting more and more comfortable with it. And here I got a couple long dots. These are spams as well as these, because they all have little cooldowns, right? So you can make them, you can put all this stuff into a spam kind of configuration instead of having to have pauses. And once you hit it, you're going to be out of commission from doing anything for like 8 to 10 seconds maybe, or something like that, right? Which for a healer can be a big deal, right? I have learned on my Shaman that you want to be able to heal at the drop of a hat. And if you're trying to weave in other stuff like dots or the roar, whatever, you need to just have that one cast and that's it, so you can slap a heal on if somebody needs it real quick. Anyway, so that's just that. This right here, I picked the order for these dots, even though they aren't. I typically like to throw the dots on longest and then goes down, but because of the way this spam kind of worked out, if I had these in any other order, one or both of these would go off all the time of these AAs. And this Rabid Bear is like a melee buff, and Ancestral Guard is like makes you a little tougher, so you don't die, you don't get one-shotted. And this is cool to have, but I only want these to go off when I want them to go off. So that's why I have this spam configured the way it is, even though the order of the dots, based on my personal philosophy of dots, doesn't follow that strictly. It's just how this has to work, and it's okay. See, this is going to be a long video. I'm not going to disappoint with my long videos. Long, boring videos. Skip around. Watch, don't watch. I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything. It's just, I don't know, just putting these out for information for people that might want to, might be able to glean something from it, or correct me in something I'm doing wrong, or give me some pointers. That's cool too. But we're all middle-aged or older people playing this game, okay? You don't need people holding your hand, okay? That's why we play the game. Okay, heal, shower heal, whatever, shower heal. This is, I named it shower. This right here, spiritual shower, is the targeted sort of shower based on what you have targeted for a wave heal. And then recourse heal is this one here that everybody likes, This is crazy. It's a rank 1 heal for the new X pack here, Shattering of Row. And this his base heal is 40k. I think that's just crazy. This is a significant amount more than the rank 2 spell in the spell line from the last X pack. They really bumped up the power level of lots of stuff in this X pack. I don't know why, but currently for me it's kind of cool. I like it, but I'm sure after a while I won't like it. This targets the tank, and then it casts a quick heal. Where's that? No, it's this one here. Yeah, the reckless heal. This is our largest heal. It damages you, but it's a nominal. It's a small. You barely even see your bar move. But it's a 1 second cast, and it's really fast, and it's got a pretty quick refresh time actually too. I like this heal. It's the only single target heal I load up. And then it has these other AAs, Union of Spirits and Spirit and Guardian, that I can because this will cast, these won't go off on these next two lines. I can hit it again with a very small pause, so that, as a matter of fact, let me lessen this pause by down to 4 seconds, or 4 down to a value of 4, which is slightly less than half a second. So there we go. So then the canny, I got the canny and that, that's, everybody knows what the Shaman canny is. And then spiritual channeling, that's usually your hit points for, you know what that is. Google it if you don't know what it is. That's spelled right. And then for my 0 key, which is usually an oh shit key of sorts, or a fade or something. As a healer, my oh crap moment or oh shit moment comes when people are dying. So this right here, it's got my current soothsayer's intervention heal for the group, as well as another one stacked onto that, the AA one, as well as the wave heal. This right here, this one. And it also does my breastplate, which does a heal for the group also. So if things are way out of control, and say if we have a druid that is getting ready, they're trying to freaking evac us or something, I could just slap this, just spam this as much as I can until he gets the evac off, maybe. Or just kind of get us up over the hump to help tank out, get control of all the aggro again with some sort of AoE aggro magic that the tank might be able to use. This is my oh crap button on my healer. And this is invis. I always like to have a forage in my invis. This invis is instant. Somebody just ran by. And this is the stuff for my super boost or whatever. This is a combination of helps with heals as well as helps the dots and some offense stuff in here. So it's an overall kind of thing. It does the healing ward that you put down that for the shaman that does the AoE heals and stuff. It kind of follows you around too. It's not just stationary. If you move far enough away from it, out of its range, it'll follow your shaman too, which is kind of nice. I like that. So there's that. And these are, I just got my reses on here. This is the out of combat res, and if you're in combat, it'll skip this obviously, and it'll cast the Call of the Wild, which is your combat res. Your during combat, no XP res right here. Corpse drag, that's the command to drag corpses without having to kind of spam a corpse thing. I didn't know this existed a long time ago because I don't really die all that much. The rest of the stuff, I got, it's just quality of life stuff. This is like a little joke thing I do. Before I res somebody, if the situation permits for a little comedy, I make my guy squat, and then I hit this macro, teabags and laughs, like I'll do it to Elwood here. It's a goofy laugh. I wish it had more bass into it. You're a tall, muscular barbarian, right? See? Juvenile, but funny. That's what everybody likes in EverQuest. All right. So, in action. So here's how I do solo on my shaman, and it's pretty easy, really. So I hit 1, bring the guy here. Now I hit 3. Sorry, I redid my buttons recently, and it does some swarm pets. I'm hitting 4. I spam it once for the heal, another one for roar, which is the progression buff you can do. Number 5, hit once for the first dot, hit it again for the second dot. I'm in melee, I'm meleeing. You just can't tell very much because I'm casting now. and I'm hitting 6 once, and the second time on number 6. Basically, my spam buttons, I just hit them twice each time. And I hit canny, which is number 9. And I just sit back and I wait for things to die. And that's it. Make no mistake about it, Shaman's still solo slow. Even though they're pretty powerful, it's slow. Much like a Necro is, kind of. But you have way more group value and raid value than a Necro does. Shamans are very versatile. I love my Shaman. It's kind of my main right now. I like them because, you know, I don't want to do. I'm hitting 6 just to speed things along a little bit. Don't really have to kill stuff in this zone. This is Tomorrow's Falls from the Lorien Song X pack. This is 2 X packs away now. So the mobs are enough to get XP, especially AA XP, but you don't have to. So right there, you see that? That was a pretty decent amount of time. Okay, I'm not gonna, you know, win any DPS contests or anything like that. At least not. I mean, I can go harder if I want. You know, I can add some nukes on here maybe. You know, since the heals are an issue, I could replace. I could mess. You know, but I kind of like to chill. Anyway, so I do that, and I do it for all these spawns around here. You know, I hit that one, that one, that one, and that one. So that's 4 more. And actually, I hit this one sometimes too, 5. And then the one I just killed, that's 6. So there's 6 spawns right here in this this basically a loop or a circle of static spawns that never spawn a rare or anything or a named mob to kind of, you know, throw a wrench in what you're trying to do. I'm just grinding on these mobs to get XP. That's all. And that's all I want to do for right now, because my level XP is for Overseer, and I group with this guy once a week on the weekends to get current X-Pack type of stuff going. I got we already got that. We already did all the missions once. So the Saturday group with my guild, I got the current familiar buffs. So I got all this working for me. Something I do with my this might be interesting for some people. I just have a macro for whenever I need to put refresh the illusion on my pet. And the pause is going to be shorter or longer depending on the illusion that you use. Because of the sort of theme I like to have on my Shaman, I'm just using this white wolf pet it was in the for sale in the marketplace. I like pet illusions, you know. Anyway, so this is all accurate. You have to commit an XTAR spot to have it target your pet, because if you just try to put the name in, like X or just /tar then Elwood, it doesn't always work, because there's actually hidden numbers at the end of Elwood, because anybody can name their pet Elwood. It's like I'm not the only one that has the right to have Elwood as a name. There's, you know, it hides the numbers after this, but there's other, you know what I mean? It's like the mercenaries too, right? So I could run into somebody else that's got a merc that's named Bubba, spelled the exact same way, and both names will exist. There's numbers that makes this unique based off a bunch of numbers that's added onto the name, but you never see it. Because of that, the XTAR, you have to use XTAR for both your, well, actually I don't think you have to do that for the merc. You might want to though, because anyway, I'm not going to muddy that up. I do this with my pet, and I commit one of these slashes. Just down. If you got, I'm a group player. I'm not going to have all these filled up. You know, I got this way out of the way. It's at the bottom here. It's fine. So, and this is what it looks like. I'll just go ahead and do it real quick so you see. Targets Elwood. It's done the pet illusion. That's really huge. That's why I make sure to shrink it. For me, it's an AA shrink, or if you're a pet class like a Mage or Necro or something like that, then you can do a use item for your pet earring and have that used. You know, the command is use item, so the illusion is an item. You know, that's in your thing here, right here, right. So you have to use the use item command to do the pet illusion, and if you have a shrink ring or a shrink earring, if you're a pet class, then you would use item for the shrinking part. But for me, Shaman, I can shrink, so that's what I do. A lot of words. Sorry if it bored you, but also hopefully if you skipped around and you found some useful stuff there, you know, that could be cool too. Here's my mount, showing off the whole wintry kind of vibe here. You know, got these this Merc skin came with I think COV or TOV X pack, Terra of Velius or Claws of Velius. One of those two X packs gave us this. And as a matter of fact, this is the model of the wolves that they had in those X packs too. And I think that's also where this mount came from, also from the collector's edition, I believe. And the armor my Shaman is wearing is plate armor ornaments from the Kryn X pack, Shattering of Ro. I like the look; it goes really well with this other stuff, especially my mount, heck, and my Merc actually too. Really, if I cared that much about it. And everything's just all kind of coordinated there. So just kind of going with a new, different look and philosophy for a main character that is a healer, my Battle Priest Shaman. Zoe EQ, signing off, and have a good one.